G'day, AJ.
G'day, Mo.
How are you, mate?
It's been a break, but we're back, baby. We're back into the swing of things.
We are. We had a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a break, but we are back.
Not that anyone noticed, though.
Did any of the three people that listened to us notice?
Actually,
Dale did.
Dale did. Thanks, Dale. We're back, mate.
Dale.
We're back for you, buddy.
We are back for you, buddy. It's all for you.
That's it.
All right. And if you're like a pretty dedicated listener and your name isn't Dale, just pretend it's Dale. We say thank you to you too.
That's it.
Right. Before we get into the...
I was going to say, if your name is from A to Z, we thank you.
We thank you. Yes. If you've come to listen to our songs. On the couch, which is this is where we're at. Songs on the couch. So, listen, we should get just appease Sideline Sally and introduce the episode. Welcome to another episode of Songs on the Couch. Yeah.
I can hear the
song.
Sitting down, we're talking out, breaking it down, songs on the couch. Music and mind still figure it out, laughing and learning what it's all about. On the couch.
Hold on. I can hear the people out there just going, yes, about time.
Yes.
Where have you been? This is ridiculous.
The 7 people.
We've jumped from 3 to 7. That's all right. I'll take
Probably
that.
a little. It's probably a little generous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Actually, no.
back.
Our stats are pretty good. I must
Tell
say,
me.
like it's we've got some,
We're trending upward.
we are trending. Yeah.
We're trending upward.
We've hit milestones. I think we've hit the 200 downloads or something.
Oh.
Look, so that's
Wow.
200 people that's listened to our. So,
Okay.
yeah,
And if your name starts between A to Z, we thank you.
Yeah. Well, or if it even starts with a number, we'll thank you too.
Yeah, that is too true because there are some creative parents out there who have named their children things like Moon Unit Zapper.
Well, what's Elon's daughter? Xenon or something?
Jay's, I don't know.
Yeah, it starts. I know it starts with an X.
Yeah. It's got some letters and numbers in it. Letter and number work, like Peppa Pig. I don't know what. I just had a flashback to being like a mother of small children,
okay,
and
right.
when Mummy Pig has got to work on the computer, she's like, I've got to do some letter and number work.
Oh yes, I have seen that episode.
You've seen that,
Yeah,
Anyway, I digress. We've had a little break. We've had a little rest. What do you get up to on your break, AJ? What have you been doing? Anything exciting?
No, waiting to record the next episode.
So what have you been doing?
I've been sitting in the corner going, when are we doing another one?
I kept you waiting for a while.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I had to go on annual leave, so I had to have a little bit of leave. You got to do it. You got to look after yourself. You got to put your oxygen mask on first, and you got to have a little rest. So, but we're back, fighting fit, ready for another episode. Tell me, AJ, what
Yes.
song are we bringing on over to the couch today?
We are bringing on over "Don't Give Up" by Peter Gabriel from his 1986 album So. Well, no, there's no apostrophe or anything after it. So it's just
no
it's
question
just
mark.
so. It's just so.
So,
Yeah, so.
so.
So?
Did it? What other hits did it bring us? I want to ask if it's the album that's got Sledgehammer on it.
It is the album that has Sledgehammer, Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill.
Yeah, his 3 probably biggest tracks probably come from this album. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Tell me more. What do we? Do we want to know?
Tell me more.
Did you get very far, Peter Gabriel? Apparently, you did with this album. So
He did.
apparently, you did.
He sure did. Well,
Yeah.
they say a picture tells 1,000 words.
And what picture are we looking at? And what's it saying?
We are looking at photographs from the American Depression era of the 1920s. the unemployment. You know, you can just look up any pictures and they're haunting enough, you know, seeing people unemployed. And that's what this song's all about. It's all about, you know, despair and not being able to provide for your family and, you know, being the man of the house type of thing. And
So it's a pretty emotionally devastating song, right?
it's really emotional. But, you know, it's not a heavy song, if that makes sense. You know, it's even though it's Peter Gabriel, it also has another famous singer that sings alongside Mr. Peter Gabriel, and that's Kate Bush.
Yes. You say it isn't really a heavy song, but isn't it though? And isn't Kate Bush holding up a lot in this song? Look, we'll get into that later.
She's providing the light. He's saying, "Oh my God, I'm in existential crisis." She's saying, "No, it's okay. We're all here for you."
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And you know,
Have a cup of tea. It's all good. Just sit down, have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We might get into that a little bit later because I've got some views on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do go on. So tell me about Peter Gabriel. Who is this dude?
Peter Gabriel. Well, if we all know the band Genesis, now most people know Genesis from the Phil Collins era. So once again, the 80s, with, you know, their probably most commercially success album, which came out in the 80s as well, was Invisible Touch, which had, you know, Land of Confusion on it. Invisible Touch, a couple of other songs on there. Then, you know, I Can't Dance, I Can't Walk, that came afterwards. But prior to that, we had Mr. Peter Gabriel in Genesis, who was kind of like the first male performer to come out on stage in like costumes. You know, you had Kiss that came out in makeup, but he was more theatrical. You know, he'd wear like flower pot, you know, hairstyles and like, you know, bat masks and like bat wings and, you know, makeup. It was very arts. Early Genesis is very art prog rock, very artsy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just sort of David Bowie blazed that trail and, you know, that kind of...
Well, but that's in the glam rock scene where Genesis was not glam rock at all.
It was more prog rock.
It was very progressive rock and more art, art rock, I guess you can kind of say. Genesis.
I want to say like Talking Heads, that kind of...
Now, see, Talking Heads was later. This is like early 70s, like when progressive rock.
Right.
Yeah, because he left Genesis in 1975. So he was mid-70s, early to mid-70s. And then from 75, Phil Collins stepped in and then went from prog rock to like pop.
To pop. Was it an amicable breakup?
Look, I don't think so. I think they were going in a direction that Peter probably didn't want to go in. He probably wanted to stay in that more artsy, creative. He wanted more creative freedom. He wanted more family time, you know.
Did he? Tell me about that.
Oh, he was a father, you know. He wanted family time with his kids, I guess. You know, he wanted to avoid being trapped by fame. You know,
at that time,
because they brought out the album The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which is a concept album, which is like, if you're into prog rock, it's like Genesis' biggest, like, that's their big album. And then after that, he decides to just walk away from it. So everyone was like, you just made this epic prog rock album and now you're no longer in Genesis. So then Phil Collins is like, well, I'll step up. I can sing and play drums. I was backing vocals. Well, Peter was in the band, so then they went down the whole, you know, there must be some misunderstanding, like that whole poppy.
Oh, do you think? Right, was Phil a bit of an influential guy in that respect?
Yes,
of moving between genres.
Yeah, because then their other guitarists left, so then there was only the 3 original members. So once Peter left, you know, other members left, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So what we ended up with Phil Collins was probably a shadow of its former Genesis self.
Well, yes, and then Phil Collins then doing his solo stuff, which everyone knows Phil Collins solo, stuff,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
widely very popular. So, yeah, he probably
Right.
just married the two.
But it's so interesting because you know what? We're here for Peter, not Phil.
No, that's right.
And I find this often happens in therapy. Is that when we are here for the person sitting on the couch, often what happens is we talk about other people who are affecting the person sitting on the couch.
Oh, that's right.
And we kind of try to pathologize them or think about their patterns and how it impacts us. So let me focus us back to the person on the couch. That is Mr. Peter Gabriel.
Mr. Peter. So,
Right.
so when he went solo, he had obviously more freedom. So he helped introduce world music to Western audiences. So was like before world music was, became common label. He was collaborating with musicians from Africa, South America, Middle East, Asia. He thought that music shouldn't have borders. He created the world of music, arts and dance, so the WOMAD festival in 1982, so to bring musicians from every culture together on one stage.
My.
Apparently today it's one of the world's best known international music festivals. He was ahead of the
visionary.
He was ahead of the internet. So he helped launch one of the earliest music websites and digital music platforms in the 90s.
Wow.
Yep. So he believed that artists should connect directly with fans before streaming even existed.
So he was trying to bring fans and artists together and kind of remove that untouchability.
In the early 90s, well, in the 90s when the internet really took off, I guess. Probably the late 90s. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. Quite the front runner.
Sledgehammer.
Tell me about Claymation.
Claymation won 9 MTV Video Music Awards.
Wow.
And that record stood for years. Obviously, stop motion animation took weeks to create. Obviously, Gabriel had to lie like perfectly still. Because when you watch it, you can see he's like lying down on like a backboard and like doing all the, the movements, which, as you know, claymation is like, you make a movement, you take a photo. You make a slight movement, take a photo. Like that would be physically miserable, I think.
Yeah, but when you're a visionary, and lots of people suffer for their art, and I think Sledgehammer was probably one of those moments for Peter Gabriel.
And that song is just, I reckon, if I had a list of like top 10 songs that had the best drum sounds. That song would have to be in my top 5 for one of the best recorded drum tracks for a song. Like, just that.
What do you love about it?
It's crisp. It's like in the front of the mix, but like, it's a song it's in the mix where you can want to really air drum to it. Because it literally starts in, like it's just a simple 4 on the floor beat. But then it goes.
But it's such a thwack.
It is a thwack. Thank you.
It's
that's what I'm
such a thwack.
And it's like, whoa, that's so cool. And then the hey you. It's like, oh, that is such a cool, simple, less is more drum sound in that song. And that bass, the slide bass, anyway.
Right.
But we're not talking about this song.
We're not here for Sledgehammer.
We're not here for back on track.
We've done it again.
But this song is, I think, it's one of the. Well, it's another great song on this album, but it's one of the, less is more. It's literally like bass, piano, synth, and hi hats, and amazing vocals by two very dynamic singers. And it goes for 6.5 minutes. Like what song that has such simplicity goes for that long and has such a statement piece?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And inspired by Depression era photos of men who are devastated by their unemployment and job loss.
Yeah.
And right. So tell me about the recording of this, or how did we get Kate Bush on board? Like, what's the story?
It's actually quite funny because he actually wanted Dolly Parton to sing on it.
No way.
She was originally supposed to sing it. It's funny because like he actually wrote like the female part, hoping that Dolly Parton would sing it. She loved the song, but scheduling conflicts meant she couldn't do it. So then Kate Bush was kind of like the second choice. Like it's like, well, then he went, oh, I'll get the next best singer in Britain to do it. And then he approached Kate Bush and
Kate Bush could do it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because, like, if we think about Dolly Parton, right, and we think about this female part of the song, like, Dolly Parton is the salve for all of the world's wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is hope and light and peace and, you know, but also has known hard times. You know, she grew up in, you know, is it Appalachia? Oh, look, I'm so sorry to our US friends. I've only ever read it. I haven't said it out loud.
yeah,
But, you know, like deep in
the South.
the South. Is it the South or I don't know. Come on, look, I should know a little bit more about Dolly Parton, but
That's all right. Well, you didn't know Dolly Parton was going to be in this episode, so how were you to know that? You needed to look her up.
I didn't, but it's the Appalachian Mountains, which is it stretches to Alabama. Is it Alabama that she's I'm not sure.
That's South. That's South America.
Yeah, where is Dolly Parton from? Where is she from? In Appalachia, I think. Locust Ridge in Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee.
Definitely South.
Definitely South. And, you know, yes, experienced a lot of poverty and, but always managed to kind of have this sort of sunny disposition and this hopefulness and playfulness. And so it actually really speaks to why he would write that part for Dolly and why it actually is surprising, but not so surprising that Dolly Parton was his first choice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is an interesting tidbit.
That's a real interesting. Even I didn't know that. I was like, oh wow, okay. Like of all people, like, and that would have been a good mash, like American and British singers like getting together to sing a song about. Well, because when this song came out, Britain was going through their own depression in the 80s as well. So he was connecting, like what he saw in the American depression photos too, and then comparing it to what he was probably not what he was going through, but what his country was going through and the everyday people. Because while he was writing this song, he was even interviewing people who are unemployed, like to get like the real raw emotion of it as well. Yeah.
Get their perspective and their emotional perspective about it. Wow. And I wonder, I mean, I don't know, I'm probably drawing a long bow here, but I wonder if, you know, Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 was released in 1980. This came out in 1986 maybe?
86, yeah.
Maybe there's been a little bit of influence, you know. Maybe, right?
Well,
okay.
he was listening to world music, so not just he was listening to music all over the world. So he probably was a bit of a Dolly fan and went, "Oh wow, she speaks true, I guess." You know,
who isn't a Dolly fan?
I've never given her the time of day.
I think you should.
Yeah,
I think you should. I think you should really listen to Coat of Many Colors.
Okay,
Jolene.
Well, I know Jolene. I know her main songs like Jolene and 9 to 5, but that's probably about it.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, look, give it a bit more of a deep dive. I can't even think of any more off the top of my head, but she's just a brilliant storyteller. She tells really interesting stories.
Yeah.
And that's her songwriting forte is to like weave a really good story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we have to talk about the other person in this song is Kate Bush, and if you don't know who Kate Bush is, oh,
Yeah.
I'd understand if you
then
didn't
we
know who.
need to-
I didn't know. I'd understand if you don't know who Peter Gabriel is, but God, Kate Bush, come on, one of the. There's no other female singer like she's like Freddie Mercury, a one of a kind, has a one of a kind voice. No one has ever sounded like Kate Bush ever. No.
Although I bet I kind of put Tori Amos up with Kate Bush
Oh, okay.
with the vocal stylings,
Yeah.
but yes, Kate, fantastic, fabulous, amazing vocalist
Yeah.
and songwriter. And am I right in saying that she was discovered by a member of Pink Floyd?
She was. She was discovered at 16 by David Gilmour, the guitarist of Pink Floyd. He heard demos. He was so impressed by her songs that he paid to record professional demos and help her get signed. So
Wow.
and then at 19, she made history with obviously Wuthering Heights, which is
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights, Withering.
Wuthering.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Okay. I'll say Wuthering Heights. You can say Wuthering Heights.
Yeah. Well, it's Kathy and Heathcliff. She's come home.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And she was
so,
the first.
yeah.
She was the first female artist to reach #1 with a song that she wrote entirely herself.
What song was that?
Wuthering Heights.
It was
you,
Wuthering Heights.
you were about to say Withering. See,
No, it was Wuthering Heights.
it was. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it might have been later in her career, or it might have been
No,
like
her first album is
her
like
first album.
amazing. You need to listen to that whole album. It's
Okay.
just
Well,
yeah.
I'll listen to that whole album if you listen to a bit of Dolly. How
sounds
about
good. Sounds good.
How about that? Sounds like a deal? All right, mate.
Yeah, sounds good. She invented the headset microphone for live performances.
Did she?
So the earpiece with the So she
Because she likes to dance. She's a bit of a dancer.
she's a real
as well.
performer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
yeah.
was another one like very artsy. Her stage, even though she performed very rarely, she after 1979, so pretty much when her first album came out, she did like a small stint of tours and then stopped touring for another 35 years.
Why did she do that?
She is very shy and personal and doesn't like private, does not like the limelight. Like she still brought out phenomenal albums and Running Up That Hill became #1 again thanks to Stranger Things. So
Yeah.
and she was another one that diversed every album was different genres, like it was never the same, like huge diversity, such a range.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and that's really interesting, isn't it? Because that's how artists make the bulk of their money is through touring and merch and things. And, and what an internal tension for an artist to have, to be so good at their craft and want to share it, but not want to
Publicly.
to be so public with it. Like that's a very interesting internal tension.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Yeah.
she brought, like, when MTV hit, she brought out film clips to her songs, which were art pieces in themselves. Like Babushka is an amazing film clip where it's just her dancing with a cello, but the cello is represented as a person. It's such a good.
Yeah. Same with that song that she did with Donald Sutherland in the film clip Cloud Busting.
Yep. Yep.
It's an amazing cinematic piece.
Yeah.
But she never toured.
No, never to it. No. For 35 years. She just preferred. She finally returned in 2014, and her tickets sold out in 15 minutes. So
Well, no doubt.
she didn't have to. She didn't have to tour to
She
make
didn't
money.
have to tour.
No.
No, she didn't have to try too hard.
No.
Right, where there's plenty of artists and bands all over the globe slogging it out
Yeah.
from city to city.
Yeah. And this is another film clip that's, if you've ever seen the film clip, It's so simple. It's just her and Peter Gabriel hugging in a. If you know what a Warner is, a Warner in the film industry is called like a one take, where there's no cuts. It's just from start to finish. It's just one continuous take, and that's what this song is. And it's just them two hugging, and which looks really personable. Like you almost like you feel like, oh, am I invading their privacy?
Their personal space. Yeah.
But yeah,
I know it is quite the close embrace, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Wow. So, any more interesting tidbits that we need to explore with this song? Like,
Yeah, well, I guess it's the good old, they didn't actually record it together. They did separate recordings, which
right.
I find that just blows my mind when you listen to a song like this that has so much raw and emotion and such believability, and you're like, oh no, they recorded separately because of they were just really busy. I'm like, man, to go into a studio and go, I know what I need to do, and I'm just gonna do it. As like, wow.
Yeah. You do kind of assume that one needs the presence of the other to conjure up that kind of emotional response and, the tone and timbre required to convey, what I suppose this Peter Gabriel was like after. But like, Kate read the brief, man.
She understood the assignment. She totally understood the assignment. And I like that this is probably one of the first songs to come out that wasn't a duet where the two singers are battling it out or they're singing, together. It's almost like a call and response type of song. Peter would sing his part, and then he'd let Kate sing her response part, and then he would sing that part. And it's like this backwards and forwards. It's not really like a.
There's no harmonizing.
No, there's no harmonizing, but there's also one person's having an existential crisis and the other person's responding with emotional, equivalent of like making him a cup of tea. It's like there's no where other duets like we did with the Barbra Streisand where they were together singing about something existential.
There was a shared feeling.
Yeah,
there was a real shared feeling and a camaraderie and a kind of, like a dual rage.
No, it's not. That's right. Yes.
A dual rage written by men. But anyway, we won't go there. I know that's an in-joke for our listeners who haven't heard that episode. I was blown away by the fact that No More Tears, Enough is Enough by Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand was written by men.
She still hasn't let go. People.
I haven't let go.
It
is a song about getting rageful towards men for being wholly inadequate at some things, but written by men. Anyway, I digress.
Well, look, clearly men know how wholly inadequate they are, that they could write a hit song for women to sing about.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
it's like pretty much
allow it.
I know I'm a piece of shit. I'll write about being a piece of shit, and then I'll let you sing it so everyone knows I'm a piece of shit.
A piece of shit. But can men be feminists? I don't know.
Oh well, that's right.
I don't know. Right. Okay, so should we talk about some of the psychology of this song? Like, is it,
It's a healing song.
Is it, though?
I think, well, I feel like towards the end you kind of, because I've also read that apparently, well, I don't know, psychologists have used this song in therapy sessions because it's very much, the words that are used are not like, oh, just get over it or you'll be fine. It's, I believe in you and you've got this and hey, we can work this out. It's like, and people have even come up to Peter along the years and said, hey, listening to your song has really got me out of that mindset and has really, it's almost like a bit of a therapy session for people who are in that category of,
or in that kind of mental state that might require nurturance. Yeah, okay, but there is a bit of an like an internal tension for me about this song. Like, I'll allow that. I think there are some good elements, but I think that, and I do think that, it is a beautiful masterpiece of a song. It's a little bit problematic though.
Okay.
Like, it's a little bit problematic in that it like reinforces gender stereotypes, right? That we're looking, if we start looking at kind of, the, I suppose, the internalized masculine ideals of, being a provider and being productive, it kind of perpetuates those factors and asks like, who am I if I can no longer provide, and if I can no longer fulfill the role that society gave me, which is a very masculine stereotype, right?
But you also got to remember that was the times.
It was the times. It was the 80s.
Even prior, like the 1930s,
Well,
20s,
the
30s, 40s,
30s
50s.
depression. Yes,
You know.
that's
And-
there was clear gender roles. Yes, there was back then.
And look, it is still a little bit like that today. I'm sure that there are still parents out there where the wife is a stay-at-home mum and dad's out trying to make money
Yeah.
to feed the family.
But where it becomes problematic is like if we like buy too much into these stereotypes. This is where the mental health crisis comes in for Peter Gabriel's character, right? Like, if we kind of had, if we just allowed men more of an identity than, providers and, fulfilling a social role as providers, if we kind of let them off the hook of that a little bit and we didn't like push that so much, would there be such devastation if they couldn't fulfill that role? Does that make sense? Like if we didn't perpetuate that gender stereotype that men have to provide, if we just weren't so forceful in that, if men couldn't provide, would that just, if we didn't have that stereotype, would we have a bit more of a buffer where they would feel less self-attacking and punitive towards self when they can't fulfill that role? So,
I will say yes in this day and age.
yeah, but
Not back
then.
in 1986.
No,
or
not
even
back
the
in
90s.
1986.
Probably
Yeah.
not up till recently, maybe the last 20 years. Or maybe even less. I don't know.
Correct. So in the 80s, it did beg the question, like, if I'm not useful, am I still lovable? Right? And we really don't want men to feel like that.
No, of course not.
We want men to feel like you're worth more than the role that you can play as a provider, right?
And that's what Kate Bush's character is doing.
Yes, that's right. So this, Peter Gabriel's character is kind of experiencing this like shame because of job loss, financial insecurity, an entire collapse of identity. Like, who am I if I'm not a provider? And then, hopelessness, social withdrawal, and ultimately suicidal ideation because it's unbearable for this person, to go through the job loss and all of the meaning associated with it.
And not just your family, but like I feel like I'd probably say the same in Australia. There's also an element of I have to provide for my country. Because, you're saying I was once, part of this proud land. Like, it's like, it's not just my family. I got to, like, serve my country as well. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, in this proud land, we grew up strong.
yeah.
Another trope, another gender stereotype, right? We were wanted all along. I was taught to fight, taught to win. I never thought I could fail.
Yeah.
Right? Again, this is like if men are holding themselves to these really high standards, these stereotypical masculine standards, it is a long way to fall.
Yeah. Especially when you're 6'4".
Right?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yeah. So,
and that's also a generational thing because that passes down, Even like
that's
my age.
right.
I've even had to, and I was brought up very old school. So I was, even as a modern day person, I've had to break away from the old school teachings that were taught to me about a lot of this stuff.
Exactly. And a lot of this stuff is about external locus of control, that everything valuable that I am sits outside of me. Like everything valuable that I am, it's about my work, my income, like my ability to provide, my status. And so when they disappear, so does your identity. Like, who are you without those things? So
I'm just a guy talking in a microphone.
That's who you are right now. But who are men without these things? And this is why, in the last 20 years, we've done a lot better to, help men hold that their worth is more than the external things, that you can have internalized characteristics of kindness, compassion, caregiving, curiosity, intellectualization, that your worth isn't external, that it can actually be intrinsic, it can actually sit inside yourself. But, culturally as well, when we're talking about those first lyrics of In This Proud Land, you're right. This external locus of control was passed down culturally and generationally, that as a man, I'm proud and strong. I've got to fight. I've got to win. I can't fail. And that's, that ain't it, man. That ain't it. That is like the core of Peter Gabriel's depression and suicidal ideation in this song. Because, his masculinity is threatened. The cultural construct of masculinity is threatened when he loses his job. What were you going to say, AJ? Go ahead, caller.
I was just going to say, well, the British tried to, take over everyone. So, well, they pretty much did. They took over us.
So we hold a lot of their ideals, right?
Yeah.
We hold a lot of their
right.
ideals.
Yeah.
So, and that's... And a lot of their ideals are about masculinity is that men provide, men don't complain, men solve problems, men protect everyone else. And when men can no longer do those things, they get depresso. And they don't know who they are anymore. And they feel like giving up. So...
And you see that a lot in mature-aged men, I think, in the 21st century.
Yeah, right. Okay, say more. Tell me.
Look, we all have Facebook and we all see what people post. I've seen a lot of mature-aged men that post about, they call it the black dog.
Yeah, and maybe some of this stuff sits at the mental health, crises that men experience, is because they've got these reinforced, unachievable masculine stereotypes, and so they, internally they collapse from like, I've got a job and I'm useful and I'm productive and I'm providing, to I've got no job, I've got no future.
I've hit a certain age, I can't get a job anymore, because then people think, then I think that I'm being ageist towards me, so then I'll just give up looking for work, and yeah. And so the locus of control is external again, like people are against me, it's, it's ageism, it's society, there's so many barriers. But in fact, it's not true, because I can tell you in previous past lives of other jobs, one of my jobs was to help other people get jobs, and I helped heaps of mature age people get a job, because it's all about getting out of that mindset and being like, no, people just want you to go and do a job. They don't care what you've done in the past. If you've done a job for 30 years, they don't care about that. They don't care. Yeah. They just want you to rock up and work. You're just a number. They don't care about your age. You're just a number. So I hate to tell you, the workforce these days is not about a family anymore. It's about, hey, I've been here for 20 years and we've become a family. It's like, can you come to work at 9 o'clock every day and do this job? Sweet, you're hired.
Correct. So you've noticed when you're in that job, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You probably noticed that a lot of the barriers that older people and older men face are these cognitive distortions, right? These distorted thinking errors like catastrophizing, right?
The worst ones were when all of our automotive factories shut down. And look,
That's
I get it.
right.
I had people that had done, what did you do? Oh, I made car seats for 30 years and I want to keep doing that. I'm like, the car industry's dead. Like, hence why you're sitting in front of me without a job. I'm here to get you something else. Oh no, but I only want a job doing that because that's all I know for the past 30 years and I want that same
Okay.
wage. And I'm like,
Yeah. So that's a cognitive problem. That's
Yeah.
rigidity, right? This sort of rigidness.
Yeah.
This inflexibility, right? Like other cognitive distortions that, they might experience, like mind reading. Everyone thinks I'm useless because I just did the same thing for 30 years. So nobody's going to want me. Everyone thinks but can you read minds, mate? Yeah. Like.
We all like to think we can, but no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also, cognitive distortions like I'm worthless, I'm useless, well, no, you're not, mate, because just like you said before, like if you're a body and you can do a repetitive job, you can do any kind of repetitive job, just let us train you.
Yeah.
And just show up at 9 a.m. every day, stay you're out at 8 hours and you'll get your paycheck.
That's it. If you got a pulse and breathing, you're hired.
Yeah, exactly. So, and another cognitive distortion is like this overgeneralization that I'm a failure and no one will hire me.
Yeah.
No, you're a human with a pulse.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess back then, in the 80s and like now, like all the men worked in factories and factories closed down. And with the times, these times are a changing. Things are becoming autonomized or
automated
or outsourced and.
Yeah, that's right. Or, to cheaper labor. And that you would have seen it in the front line. That led to a lot of depressive symptoms, classic symptoms of hopelessness, shame, withdrawal, like, kind of
a lot of
dislearned-
resentment, a lot of
resentment.
pushback.
External locus of control. Like they did this to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
pushback.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of resistance, oppositionality. Yeah, right.
Oh no, I don't do
Okay.
that. That's below me. I won't do that. That's below me. That's what I used to. You want a job? Do you want money? Like,
Yeah, that's right. Nothing should be below anyone, really. Like if you need to earn money, then sometimes you've got to take a few knocks,
That's
don't
it.
you? You got to
Yep.
knocks down the rung. But so we've got this. Okay, so we've got this picture of this man, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think where this song shat me was because let it be known, good listeners, that I got shat.
yeah, you got shat on.
Well, it pissed me off
Okay.
because, yes, okay, I'm going to hold that it was, conceptualized because of looking at depression photos. It was released in the 80s, and so these gender stereotypes still exist. But why the freaking hell?
Yeah.
Why the freaking hell does the woman have to hold it together all the time? Like, why does the woman have to be the carer, the nurturer, the caregiver? Like, I just get a bit angry about that. And, that is traditionally a women's role, but I'm not feeling that women are kind of responsible for managing men's feelings. That's not okay. This might have been okay in the 1920s, 1930s, 1980s, but it's not okay today. The Kate Bush character coming in, her thing is like, okay, it's a woman's job to save him. Yeah, screw that. As a feminist, I just get a little bit angry that, women have to take on a lot more of the emotional labor than men. And that makes me a little bit angry.
Why don't you look at it
and
as? Why don't you look at it as it's okay? It might be a female singing it. It never says that she's his partner. She could be talking on behalf of everyone.
Yeah, but she's still a woman doing the emotional work, mate.
Yeah, but you kind of don't want. I get it, but how would it sound if two men were singing like that?
Do you know what? It would sound amazing. It would sound like what do we
For
have here
today,
in
yes, but probably not for 1986.
No, not for 1986, but I wish more men would do this, you know, and this
Yeah.
is looking like a quality men's shed, a quality men's group, right? This is what good men should be doing for other men, which is emotionally containing them and being the attachment figure. Now, in this song, Kate Bush's character represents the attachment figure, right? She doesn't argue, she doesn't debate, she doesn't try to change his mind or problem solve. You know, she
Supporting. She's just supporting.
She supports. She contains. So you're right. Earlier in the episode, you said that you know, she doesn't offer any like toxic positivity, like oh, you know, chin up, things will be okay.
Yeah, you'll be right. Suck it up. Get
You'll
over
be
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just, you know, just repeats the refrain, don't give up, which kind of psychologically, it's a lot of emotional labor. But anyway, that aside, the emotional labor, it is a lot of emotional labor to, you know, oftentimes, and this comes up in the couples work a little bit, you know, the Gottmans, I've talked about the Gottmans before, who are, you know, the leading experts in what the masters of relationships do and the disasters of relationships do. The masters of relationships never try to fix without, they never try to fix in an unsolicited way. They never say, well, why don't you do this when a problem is brought to them? They just hold and contain it, right? They co-regulate it. And how the masters co-regulate it is like, I don't know, I always use this example of like, you know, my husband, when he goes to site, he has a colleague called George who never brings the right cables, right? And instead of saying, well, why don't you bring your own cables? Or instead of saying, George is having a bad day, maybe George is having a bad day.
Every time?
So the masters of relationships never try to fix. They don't provide a solution and they don't side with the enemy. So what the masters look like is like, oh, that sucks. Oh, my God, this happens to you every time. Oh, my God, that George, good Lord. God, he'd forget his head if he wasn't screwed on. Right?
Yeah.
The masters never say, well, take your own cables, right? Because that feels really invalidating. So what Kate's doing, Kate's not saying, well, why don't you sign up at the job centre, love? Or I heard, you know, Shirley talking about her husband who said that there's an opening down at, you know, like...
I love that. Yeah. Oh, it's true. Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. So the masters of relationships never do that. So that is one song. One thing this song does well is that it shows what the masters of relationships do well. But God damn it, it pisses me off that it's women's labour. So what she is doing is a lot of emotional holding. She is, you know, co-regulating. She's offering him hope, you know, and there is a you know, a foundational theorist called Donald Winnicott who talks about like the holding environment, which says, you know, sometimes when people can't regulate themselves, they have to borrow, you know, some regulation from another person's nervous system. And Kate becomes that person that Peter borrows from in his time of despair. So, you know, she's essentially, I don't know, the equivalent of a weighted blanket, an emotional weighted blanket.
Give me a
is
hug.
what Kate is, and quite literally and figuratively. But
Yeah. Oh, yes.
but yes, I am getting grumpy about it because it is a gendered issue, and that all the emotional labor sits with Kate. She regulates, she reassures. She's just like in it. She's containing. She's like buffering. She's believing. She's offering hope.
Yeah.
And, he collapses and he's got an external locus of control and can't do any of this for himself. And that pisses me off. Like, he's the only person that gets to fall apart in this. Like, she's got her, if we're thinking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? At the bottom of the needs, you've got the basic needs need to be met and your safety needs need to be met. And then your psychological needs need to be met before you can self-actualize and like become the most amazing version of yourself. Well, she gets to be scared too about her basic needs not being met. But instead he collapses and she freaking holds him up. Yeah.
Do you need a cup of tea, love?
Yeah, that burned. Oof. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do with that cup of tea, don't you?
Throw it in my face.
Correct.
Wow.
Listen, modern psychology would probably encourage like co-regulation, like that shared regulation, like, vulnerability from both partners.
Yeah.
Yes, he is being vulnerable. I love that. But be responsible for some of your own feelings. Like it's got to be mutual emotional support, right? Like him saying, oh my God, love, what are we going to do? Like, I've lost my job and far out financially. Like, how could we work this through? How, is there some way that you can think of that like, that might be good for me or maybe, I could look after the kids for like 2 days because you're a bit more employable in this thing and maybe that would work. Like she's carrying the entire freaking relationship and he needs to just show up with some ideas. Yeah. Anyway.
I wasn't expecting you to be so heated about this song.
Yeah, I am heated. But look, you can't kick a man while he's down. He's like,
Oh, I think you did.
I think I did.
You certainly.
And I do want to say, that like
I get it because you're in the now. You're thinking of everything as today.
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And I get that. I'm thinking of this song as
1980s.
that's when it came out and everything that
1920s.
happened at that time.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Look,
I get it.
yeah. But I don't want to kick a man while he's down because oftentimes, when people are so down, they can experience suicidal ideation and hopelessness. And oftentimes we, as therapists, as friends, as partners, we have to hold the hope for people and let them borrow that hope from us. That is, one of the therapeutic things about hope is that, like, sometimes someone can believe that things will be okay because someone else believes that they will for them. So, and this song does capture that beautifully. It captures that hope theory that supports people when they are feeling, rather suicidal and they want to give up. Yeah. So I'm conflicted.
And look, I get it because thinking of my own things that I've been through in the past, it's like a fight or flight. There's a part of you that's like, man, I really want to tell you, like, dude, come on. We've been having the same conversation every day for the last 3 weeks. Instead, you kind of just go, it's hard. You think you're supporting him, but if anything, you're actually just making it worse. So I see, I'm a bit of a fence sitter. I see both sides because I've been there where I'm like, I look back and now I'm like, no, I probably should have just had a bit of a harder, tougher conversation with that person. Be like, hey, actually, I'm not the right person to be talking to. You should be talking to someone else or like someone professional.
Yeah, which is what we'd encourage. We would say to people, listen, I think that this is, like I would really encourage you to seek help from a professional because, I'm concerned about you and I'm concerned that I can't do enough.
Where instead I'd be like, I know, man, I feel you. I'm here. Like, I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what you were brought up to. You were brought up to not be a punching bag, but, where you're here to support
Yeah, to absorb things.
and support. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So, yeah, look, and it's really tricky because we want to gently challenge people. We want to, to seek their own help. We want to help them notice and name what's going on for them. We're encouraging men to ask for help, to cry, to connect, to build friendships, to define themselves beyond work and other achievements. We are doing that. And, so I don't know. It's tricky. I don't even really have an answer.
I was going to say, I've lost my train of thought, but I was going to say, I've completely lost my train of thought. God damn it. I was going to say something good too.
That's all right. Well, I'll say something else about this. I'll say something else about one of the conversations that we need to be having with men, I think, is about, like their self-worth. That's what we're really talking about here, is that like we have to find self-worth and intrinsic healthy self-worth inside of ourselves rather than conditional self-worth or, external or self-worth based on external things like employment, success, usefulness, productivity.
Materialistic things. Like
Right.
I know working is important and money is important, but at the end of the day, it's just materialistic, isn't it? I know we need it to live, but...
Well, it is survival. It is. And look, there is a neurobiological stress response to unemployment, like long-term unemployment increases like anxiety, depression, cortisol levels, inflammation, shame.
And for, not just for males, for females too.
For females too, yeah, exactly. So
I've been there, I've seen it. And the longer you're in, and look, I get it, the longer your unemployment gap is, the harder it is to get re-employed. Like I know, I've seen that side too. Like companies be like, what did you do for the last 3 years? Nothing. I sat on the couch. It's like, we kind of want something. Yeah, it's a tough game to play.
Yeah, it's a tough game to play. So we want something that demonstrates motivation and.
Yeah. I was going to say, I got my train of thought back. What I was going to say, back onto where you think like, oh, I should be telling this person what they really need to hear. But then you're going through your own internal conflict by saying, well, then if I say that, I'm going to then lose a friend. Is it better to take their emotional baggage and just be like, it's okay, you've got this, you can do this, we're here for you, and then I've still got that friend? Or do I potentially risk losing a friend by telling them the harsh truth, but then at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be better off, not me?
It is tricky, right? And as the Gottmans would say, don't fix, just contain. Show empathy and contain. But maybe lightly challenge them to, seek some professional help because you want the best for them. And, maybe that's the thing that will save the friendship. I want to like flip a table and yell like... Mate, get a psychologist, like join a men's group, call your brother, call your best friend, like get a hobby. That's what I want to do.
They're probably all in the same boat. They're probably all just gone to the pub and drunk themselves stupid till they can't, think or feel anymore.
Well, that is another way of avoiding your very complex feelings of...
That's what they did back then too.
Lack of self-worth, but, But anyway, look, we are coming to a close today and I think the song, yes, while it is about unemployment, it is about, the toxic masculine response to unemployment in the 80s and the 1920s where self-worth was, pinned on your ability to provide for your family. But, it also represents what can happen how our identities can collapse when that part collapses. But it also offers us actually a good therapeutic way of holding people, which is to not offer toxic positivity, to don't tell them to get over it, just to hold and contain it. Let them borrow from your hope and your nervous system to help them find a path forward and an intrinsic sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
And that's, that the couch rating is, 5 stars for psychological accuracy.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Well, I was going to say, if you were to play this song to someone, tell them, do the complete opposite of what this song is telling you. Just enjoy the song as it is.
Enjoy the song, but
don't do anything that this song is suggesting.
don't do anything. Well, unless you're Kate Bush, and then be a holding, containing, non-fixing, non-toxic positivity.
Doesn't really work.
Regulated person to hold someone else's feelings, but
it doesn't work like this in the 21st century.
In the 21st century, but gently offer them a suggestion of, hey, I'm worried about you. Maybe you should get some professional help with this one. Yeah. So there endeth
the episode of
Don't Give Uppeth.
Yes. You still have friends. You still have friends.
You still have friends, and I get it, guys.
You're not the only one.
You're not the only one, and look, I'm
and not just males, females as well. Whoever you are, race, sex, age,
yep,
doesn't
culture,
matter. That's exactly right.
Whatever. Everyone is at one point in their lives vulnerable to job loss and identity collapse. But as Kate says, don't give up.
Look,
we're proud of who you are.
That's it. We all bleed the same color. That's all I say. We all bleed red. So
that's right, and we should all take heart that we're all human, and we often all struggle, but with good holding and containment, we can find our way through it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, until next time, don't give up.
No, that's it. Don't
all right, mate.
Stop believing. Oh, wrong song. Sorry.
Don't give up and don't stop believing.
That's it.
All right. I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Sitting down, we're talking out. Breaking it down, talks on the couch. Music and minds will figure it out. Laughing and learning what it's all about. On the couch.
Thanks for tuning in to Songs on the Couch. We hope you enjoyed putting today's song under the microscope with us.
And hey, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Join us over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Songs on the Couch, where we're sharing behind-the-scene clips, more fun music insights, and of course, chatting with you all.
And if you're an artist, musician, psychologist, counsellor, psychotherapist, or know someone who'd love to sit on the couch with us, have your management reach out. We'd love to hear from you at hello@songsonthecouch.com.
Follow us, subscribe, and let's keep rocking out together. Catch you next time on Songs on the Couch.